Sorry, guys. So he said, "Go." Saying to him, he said, "Go wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. So he went and washed and came back seeing. And the neighbors and those who had seen him before as a beggar said, "Is this not the man who used to sit and beg?" Some said, "It is he." Others said, "No, but he is like them." He said, "I am the man." And they said to him, "Then how were your eyes open?" He answered, "The man called Jesus made clay and anointed my eyes and said to me, 'Go to Siloam and wash.' So I went and washed and received my sight." And they said to him, "Well, where is he?" He said, "I do not know." And they brought to the Pharisees the man who had been formerly blind. Now it was the Sabbath day when Jesus made the clay and opened his eyes. The Pharisees again asked him how he had received his sight. And he said to them, "He put clay on my eyes. I washed and I see." Some of the Pharisees said, "This man is not from God, for he does not even keep the Sabbath." But others said, "How can a man who is a sinner do such signs?" And there was division among them. So they again said to the blind man, "What do you say about him? Since he had opened your eyes." He said, "He's a prophet." And the Jews did not believe that he had been blind and had received his sight, until they called the parents of the man who had received his sight and asked them, "Is this your son who you say was born blind? How then does he now see?" And his parents answered, "We know that this is our son and that he was born blind, but how he sees we don't know. Nor do we know who opened his eyes. Ask him, he's of age, he will speak for himself." His parents said this because they feared the Jews, for the Jews had already agreed that if anyone should confess him to be Christ, he was to be put out of the synagogue. Therefore his parents said, "He's of age, ask him." So for the second time they called the man who had been blind and said to him, "Give God praise. We know that this man is a sinner." And he answered, "Whether he's a sinner I do not know. One thing I know, that though I was blind, and now I see." And they said to him, "What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes?" And he answered, "I already have told you, and you would not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you too want to become his disciples? But we are disciples of Moses. We know that God has spoken to Moses, but as for this man, we do not know where he comes from." The man answered, "Why, this is a marvel. You do not know where he comes from, and yet he opened my eyes. We know that God does not listen to sinners, but if anyone is a worshiper of God and does his will, God listens to him. Never since the world began has it been heard that anyone opened the eyes of a man born blind. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing." And they answered him, "You were born in utter sin, and would you teach us?" And they cast him out. Jesus heard that they cast him out, and having found him, he said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" He answered, "And who is he, sir, that I may